What's up, guys? It's the Four Horsemen Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Josh Romine. With me tonight, I'm joined by Alex Finney Stoner and Alex Finney Stoner only. How are you, Alex?
Only me. Twin Peaks, baby. Can I ask you why are you so far away?
Do you not like it? Like, I was trying something new, like a different perspective.
No, that's fine. I'm just like I was just kind of like, what's going on?
So like,
okay, so just new feel.
I'm trying something new here. Like,
okay, that's fine.
It's more conversational. Like when I'm got my computer right in front of me, I feel like I'm just like in my computer. So I thought maybe if I put my computer back a little bit and propped it up, like it'd be almost like I'm having like a across the table conversation.
Gotcha.
Put my wireless headphones on this time, so I'm not like tied into my computer. So
yeah. That's a good call. I like that.
Yeah. Figured I'd try something new, and since it's just the two of us tonight, like
real quick, before we talk about football, you know what I really can't stand about this Google Hangout thing is that I want to be able to hear myself in my headphones.
Yeah.
Like, that drives me crazy. So, like, I have to pop one of these ears off so I can actually hear myself talk.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm just like, am I yelling? I don't even know.
So, no, you sound good. You sound fine.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good.
I mean, Google Hangout's not ideal, but a lot of people use it.
Yeah, Google, can you help us out, please? Do something better. So real quick, also, I want to bring up the fact that we're basically going to be a twosome because, and I'm going to throw this out there because it has to be said. I don't know exactly what time they have to be at work. Usually they have to be work by about 5. I'm going to be waking myself up at about 4 o'clock, going to fix a computer at 5 a.m. or a printer at 5 a.m. and then doing some screen print. Then I'm going to be working until about 5. Then I'm going to go to a class until about 9. I'm just putting it out there that I am here. That I am here.
You're a man's man.
I am a man's man. I only need 4 hours of sleep.
You're dedicated. I love it.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I wish Brent and Van Cleef could have been here tonight. And Brent said Brent has done a pretty good job of making it. Yeah, but I mean, we kind of did a crappy job of putting them together anyway, so he didn't really have to make a lot. You know, we were only doing it every third week there for a minute. So
he
said it wasn't going to change the way that he was able to make podcasts, but he's fallen right into the old Van Cleef.
Yep. He's a goner. He's a goner. all that crap shoveling. It's a problem.
It's tiresome.
Real problem.
But so this episode, we're going to just cover a little bit of news, and then we're going to get into some late round targets that we have been going after in drafts. It's preseason week 4 started, so
that's what I was saying earlier today. I was just looking at like the Eagles schedule, and I was like, oh my god, football starts next weekend. Holy crap!
Yep,
so excited.
Less than 2 weeks away. It's I'm ecstatic, but I got a couple drafts left to do this weekend. I don't know about you. Are you all wrapped up?
I need to do some draft. Like I only have 2. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta ask my mom what's going on because I've got 2 family leagues. Brent asked about one because he's in it. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I selected keepers or anything like that. Oh my gosh, God. They are not organized about that at all. But you know what? I think you and I should hop into some random one.
Oh yeah, we did that last year. We should do it again.
Just some rando. Let's see what we can do.
Well, you got to wake up early. I was gonna say we could have done it tonight, but we'll put it together. We'll find something.
Maybe next week.
Yeah,
maybe next week. Like it would be in the middle of the week. We'd be all right.
I'm down. I had that draft Sunday night with some friends I used to work with, and I was telling you, like, I draft with you guys so much that when I draft not with you, I like fall in love with my draft because I get like players I love.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Like you end up getting every player you want because you're not fighting against the people that like are sitting in a room talking about football constantly all over. Yeah.
It's the best.
It is the best. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to slay all you.
Exactly. I didn't do so hot last year. I
think it's hit or miss. When you have your dream lineup, like I remember one time I had a work league, just a bunch of old people. Like my work was like a funeral stationery company. So, I mean, that gives you a little bit of perspective. And I drafted my team. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to destroy these people. And I freaking came in like last place. And it was a nightmare. It was awful.
Injuries or what happened? Just not pan out?
Uh, honestly, I think that part of it was I overdrafted my running backs because I usually do that so I can trade them later
Mhm.
on. And this league just didn't do trades. And the trades that they would do were so stupid. Like
Yeah.
it would be like somebody wants a Colts player, which, if that's not the most newbie garbage stuff that I've ever heard. Like I will never trade just because I want an Eagles player. Yeah, I did 20 years ago. Okay.
Right.
I'm a grown up now.
Exactly. You know how to play fantasy football now. But
Exactly.
before we get into news, hop on Twitter, follow us, Four Horsemen Pod. Send us emails, fourhorsemenpod@gmail.com. It's that time of the year. It's done. It's time for our drafts. Last calls are this weekend. So get on there, follow us for throughout the season for start sets questions. That's this is the most fun time of the year, drafting.
Mhm.
But the season's fun too. It is what you make
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We talked earlier
Well,
about like the difference between best ball leagues and redraft.
yeah. Well, and I've talked about this and I've kind of paraded this around. Your draft is 50-50, skill
Mm-hmm.
and luck. Once you get
Absolutely.
into the season, a lot of that has to do with skill and what you're doing with your team and how you are using it. Because the draft is great. It's fun, but that's not how your team's going to look 6 weeks, 10
Absolutely.
weeks in. So you have to be able to pivot and put the right people in place. So that has a lot more to do with skill. That's where we can kind of come in and talk about those kinds of things. Because right now everybody's just having a good old time, but excited. But half of the people are drunk. Like, I mean, it's a good time. But it really is after this weekend, we're
Yep.
really going to start coming into where the skill part comes in.
Yep.
So get ready.
Yep. If you want to win, you're going to have to be active. So, let's get in the news though. Doug Baldwin, man, came out today, talked to the media, said that he is 80 to 85%, and that the injury that he sustained, he will have to deal with all year long. You can't like hearing that coming from the player.
Hot take. Seattle would be one of the worst teams in football.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
I hate everything about this team. I just
Russell Wilson's good. He is
okay.
good. I
Is
mean, you
he
gotta admit he's
okay?
good.
All right, he's good, but the problem that I feel like is going to happen here
Mhm,
is he has so little talent around him now.
mhm.
Like it used to be that they could run the ball, no problem. They can't run the ball. They keep drafting guys, trying to place guys into position. And right now, you got Chris Carson that's ahead of your first round draft pick, and it's kind of a mess. And I
Yeah,
feel like what he's going to do, he's not old, but he's getting older in football sense. And
sure.
a scrambling quarterback, the longer you go, he's not Michael Vick. He's not going
No,
to just be able to do that forever.
right.
So he's going to be trying to force it. I feel like he's going to try to force it, and then he's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of stuff happened with McNabb a lot toward the end of his tenure with the Eagles. He would try so hard to try to make something happen that he would hurt himself. I mean, it's kind of the curse of being a mobile quarterback.
right. And Doug Baldwin right now is wide receiver 15. So,
I won't own any stock in Seattle players, period.
yeah, I
I
do
do have
not.
Chris Carson. I did draft Chris Carson in the auction draft. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe an auction if he's not going for super expensive. I've ended up with a little bit more penny just because he kind of has fallen off into like the eighth, ninth round,
Yeah,
which I
that's a
don't
good
feel as
value
bad for
there.
it. Yeah, like if he's fallen that far in drafts, because I still think that Rashad Penny's better than Chris Carson, like
Yeah,
purely talent wise.
yeah.
If he can learn to block and they can actually trust him, then he could have a shot. But like you said, like you don't want to invest heavy in Seattle,
No, no.
which is kind of sad. I was very bullish on Russell Wilson at the beginning of the year when I realized how bad their defense was going to be, and then their offense just kind of followed suit.
Yeah.
And I That was why I didn't keep Russell Wilson in our main league.
I was shocked by that, by the way.
I'm
I was completely shocked because of how bullish you were.
I mean, the thing is, you got to know when to adjust how you feel about something. And you
Yep.
know me, like I fall in love, but I want to win. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be right about players, but at the
Well,
same time,
he was going to be expensive for you, wasn't he?
yeah,
I
three
mean,
bucks.
yeah, that's super expensive for a quarterback.
Uh-huh. That's why I paid for Aaron Rodgers. So I
Yeah.
couldn't fathom doing it for Russell Wilson. Next piece of news: Marquise Lee took a helmet to his knee,
Ouch.
and yeah, got placed on the IR. Knee ligament damage. It was nasty looking. Bent the wrong way. He's gonna miss all 2018.
God, you gotta. This sucks for him. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel so bad for the guy. Like this was his shot. This was his year. He was going to prove that he could be a number one, number two,
Uh-huh.
talent on a team, and it sucks.
I felt like
It
he was like the
sucks.
lone sure thing.
Yeah, that he was the only thing that I was like, okay, he's going to be the number one. And
Uh-huh.
then we're still looking at what's going to be number two, what's going to be the slot. Now it is blown open again. It
Yeah.
is completely blown open. And I mean,
Wait,
I'm going to get into that on one of my late
sure.
round targets.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
It's
Yeah, I know who it
not
is.
DD.
I know it's not. And that's the thing, like I don't know. Like you said, we'll talk about it more and we can save it for that. Odell Beckham Jr. signed a pretty good contract. He got paid, got his extension that he was looking
Yep.
for.
Yep.
5 years,
Sure.
95 million. Does it
Yeah.
make you feel like at ease? Does it like is there any fantasy ramifications from it, or is it
I think that you're doing with this is you have saved drama for a few games and you'll get it again. I mean, the I I just have this horrible feeling about him.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if I think it's an injury, if I think he falls off. I just have this terrible, terrible
I don't
pit in
know.
my stomach.
Like he's so good, and them paying him makes me feel like they're not worried at all. The Giants aren't worried at all about him being good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was reading something earlier. I almost put Sterling Shepard on my list
Yeah.
of late
I
round
almost did
targets
too.
because I really do like him. In this, I
Third year
read
too.
yeah, I read something earlier that said, are the Giants really going to be wanting to run their $95 million wide receiver in the slot so often? Like, are they going to want to line him up outside where he's not taking as many like over the field hits? You saw that Marquise Lee.
Mhm.
It's players are hitting low. They don't want to go for the head. They don't want to target and get ejected from a game. Could you see more slot out of Sterling Shepard? And if that's the case, like
Yeah.
he could be super productive.
There's always that talk. Like, I remember with the Eagles for a long time. It's like, why is Deshaun Jackson still running back punts and kicks?
Right.
And Brian Westbrook, why is he still running back kicks? Like, you hear that all the time. But you know what? A coach doesn't care what the dollar amount is on a player.
Sure.
They care how they're going to win. And so if them winning is him being in the slot, he's going to play in the slot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the game plan is, what the game flow is going to be, but
Uh-huh.
I don't think that the dollar amount all of a sudden makes him unable to be in the slot.
Sure. You don't think it would influence it at all?
No, I mean,
Okay.
a team is going to try to win. A team's not going to like hurt the team because they don't, because that's counterproductive. It's like you paid him all this money because of what he does on the field, and then you cut out part of what he does on the field. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right. No, that makes. I think that's a very good point, and rightfully so. Like teams should want to win. Like they shouldn't be afraid to do it. So, well, Alex, like that's my last piece of news. Do you just want to get right into our late round targets?
Well, do we want to quick
Oh,
talk
talk
about
about
McCoy? shady?
Yeah, we kinda I forgot, I didn't write that down. So, we kinda were looking for justification in, like, Fantasy Pros ADP and, Fantasy Football Calculator on McCoy going later in drafts because I've noticed it in drafts. I know you've seen it in drafts too.
Uh-huh.
The ADP that I saw showed him kind of going around the 2-3 turn, like into the third round, the first few picks. But I've seen him falling further than that,
Yeah.
like late third, early fourth, even sometimes.
Yeah.
It,
He's a, it's a nervous pick because of the allegations.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're gonna find out. Like, I feel like if anything is gonna happen, it would happen the next season. I
Yeah,
think what I feel is that he's hitting that age
yeah,
and he's on a team that is going to focus on him because there's nothing else to worry about. And when you add those two things together, you're looking at injuries. And
mm-hmm.
so he's not a guy that I'm targeting. However, I am surprised for him being as productive as he has been his entire career, how he has fallen because we have no idea what's going to happen with him in that whole thing. So it could be anything, but it is a little shocking to see how late it is possible for him to go. Like you said, 2-3 turn. I'm not like super concerned with it, but if I can get him like in the fourth or fifth round, of course I'm going to snag him up. I
Right,
mean, come on,
right. He just turned 30 years old. Like,
the killer number.
yeah, that's when it starts becoming a problem. And like the Bills do not look good.
Oh my gosh, they're going to be the worst in football.
They're going to start
Worst in
Nathan
football.
Peterman. And we know how that worked out last year. You don't like Tyrod. Like, ugh,
Oh,
Pe-
Peterman was terrible.
Peterman was trash.
That
It's,
was embarrassing. That
it's
was embarrassing.
I hope, I don't know, because I love LaShawn McCoy just as a player. Like, I really do. He's been fun to watch. He's been super productive. He's been a very safe, fantasy running back. And when you see him falling, even into the third, he's always been like that habitual, like into the first, beginning
Yeah.
of the second guy. You
Yep.
feel good like taking as your second running back, or if you took like Antonio Brown, you felt okay about getting him to be
Yeah.
your number one. He's not that anymore.
No.
He should definitely see usage though.
Yeah.
Like,
I
who
mean,
else do they have? They've got nothing.
yeah. They have nothing. I mean, like we were talking about earlier before the podcast, like Chris Ivory and Travaris, is it Travaus?
Travaris.
Travaris
Travaris.
Cadet. Yeah. Traviot? Travat?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You don't need to know it.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, and I'm not saying that all of a sudden this makes them good, but the only spark that they could possibly have to ignite their season is putting Josh Allen in and seeing what he can do, because I have a hard time believing that the leash is longer than one game, maybe one quarter
Yeah.
for Nathan Peterman.
I
I mean,
mean,
if he throws a pick, it's gonna spiral.
yeah, what
It
about
will
5?
spiral. Well, that's what I mean.
We've
Is
seen
that
that in
I
the
think,
first half of the game.
yeah, I think that if he throws just one pick, he fumbles one time,
Yeah.
he throws one errant pass, we're gonna be, I don't know. Is their first game? I don't know if their first game is a home game. Talk about something. Let me just check this real quick.
No, you're fine. And that's like nobody wants to see Nathan Peterman. Like from the fantasy community, we all want to see Josh Allen. There's nobody sitting there being like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm glad they're starting Nathan Peterman." Nobody wants to see that. You don't roll out Peterman there. Like he's not going to be the play for I don't know, unless the Bills think that they can still be competitive enough. Like
Yeah,
which I can't imagine why unless they want to tank it.
yeah. Okay. Here's my. Well, first off, like the Ravens secondary. How are they? I don't even know God, the Ravens have been so boring for so long that I've stopped paying attention to
Yeah,
them.
they still have a good
But
defense.
yeah, but okay, so week 1 they're at the Ravens.
Ugh.
But week 2 They're at home versus the Chargers. The Chargers
Ugh.
have an up and coming
Yeah, not a
defense.
good start.
I have. I'm telling you right now, my hot take. He might not make it out of the first game,
I
but
hope not.
Nathan Peterman will not make it out of that second game at home. There's no way. I don't see it. First, and it's not all his fault, but it's mostly his fault. But there's
Sure.
not the talent around
Yeah.
for him to be successful. And I think that Allen and Corey Coleman could make a
Mm-hmm.
nice team.
Mm-hmm. Corey
I
Coleman.
just
I
I just
heard that he was on the roster bubble, that they were thinking about cutting him.
what?
Mm-hmm.
That oh my gosh, how does that happen? 2 years.
That was
2
on the
years.
whose
Uh,
podcast was that? Mike
let's
Tiglier, I think.
let's as a Philly owner, why don't we pick him up since Jeffries is going to be gone for a couple of weeks? Try him out. I mean, I'm not looking forward to 2 weeks without. I just hope that they don't put Nelson Aguilar like take him out of the slot. I would be so angry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're that stupid.
No. You think there's any chance they pick up Dez?
I've been saying it for weeks because we really don't I mean, Mike Wallace is a burner, but he's not a number 2. Like they basically like switched out Torrey Smith for the Torrey Smith 2. Like they're the same player. I didn't like that signing because I didn't think it made the team better. I think it made the team the exact same. Like
It
I
doesn't
just
change anything.
no, not a thing. Not a
But
thing at all.
if you're happy with what you have, maybe that's what you're trying to do.
I
Get
guess I don't know.
a slightly, I don't know if he's even considered a better version
Yeah,
at this point.
I don't know.
I could see Des Bryant going there though. Play Dallas twice.
Well, and yeah, exactly. It makes perfect sense. Like, would you want to go to okay, you're not going to go to the Giants. There's no room on the roster. Are you going to go to and play with Alex Smith? Oh, no. You're going to go play for the Super Bowl champions. Yes.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. And it's stupid that, I don't know. I think that he's maybe just not very smart.
Who does?
Or at least the people around him aren't very smart.
I don't know. Like he tweeted today that he's gonna play this year.
But maybe later on the season.
Yeah. Which,
like, who wants that? Like, how are you going to learn? Okay, if you come in late in the season, you don't know the routes, you don't know what's going on, so it's going to take you weeks to get on board. So you literally have to be on a team that is a surefire playoff team, and you still you will have no rapport with your quarterback. Like, it's so dumb.
That's a weird tweet, though. Like,
that is a weird tweet.
Like, why?
I feel like he's just like testing people.
Sure.
Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, you know, the Ravens offered him a contract. He's like, no. And he hasn't gotten an offer since. Like, dude, you're an idiot. You had a lock in to play football. Play football, dude. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. He tweeted something about like wanting to be in like the right situation, like getting himself right, which I don't know if that's just like mentally or what it is, but maybe he's just waiting for that Philadelphia Eagles to come through and send him some sort of offer. I'd be okay with it, but it's so late in the season now. I don't really want any part of Des Bryant. Like, as a fantasy owner, like I actually have some ownership of him through best ball leagues.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're drafting those early. I don't know. I wish I didn't have it now. If I could go back in time, if I could turn back time, I would.
If I could turn back time.
So let's go ahead and get into these late round targets. First player is the only player that we both had on our list. So I want to go ahead and knock him out first.
Okay. So you're going
one guy.
You're going to yeah. Okay.
That good? You like that?
Yeah, that's good. We'll start off.
So Jordan Wilkins, running back 57 according to Fantasy Pros. He's a guy that I've been targeting late, like last probably like 3 or 4 rounds. You're able to kind of lock him in, swoop in there and get him. We live in Colts country, so I think it's maybe like a little bit more around here. He gets a slight bump, but why is he on your list?
Um, you know, as usual, rookies intrigue me. It's the unknown factor. I know what the Colts have, and so now I'm looking at this guy, and it doesn't seem like the Colts have a lot of faith in Marlon Mack. I am kind of a Marlon Mack fan, so
Mhm.
I think that he could do well, but I don't think the game flow is gonna be in his favor. Now, what's his first name? Hines.
Naeem?
Naheem
Naeem
Hines.
Hines.
I don't care at all. Not an ounce. I think it was a dumb pick because I think you already kind of have. I mean, he's super small, like so he's not quite Marlon. I don't know. Like
He's
Marlon Mack
fast.
seems like the like explosive guy. So then you get another explosive guy. So you've got it's kind of like how the Eagles have Pumphrey and Sproles. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like I don't know,
Right.
but um, I just like the fact that he's a runner, and what they have been, they've tried to replace like people with like these kind of flashy things, but Frank Gore ran the ball for him every year and had the most yards. And I think that that's what they want and they need. They need a guy that can get out a few yards here and there, where if Luck is back to normal, they
Mhm.
won't need the running game quite as much. But I think
Right.
that he has the possibility to become the starter and maybe put up 1,000 yards this year. I don't know. But
Yeah.
especially in Dynasty, I want a piece of that because the unknown factor and all that stuff, what you have in Indianapolis with Marlon Mack. So grabbing, I mean, even if you are maybe you are a Hines fan, grabbing those kind of players to stash on your team and see what happens.
Right.
Redrafts, yeah. I mean, like you said, like maybe the last couple rounds, if you
Mhm.
really like just hate everything that's on the board,
Yeah.
go for the shot in the dark.
Well, yeah, and Mac has already been dealing with this hamstring injury. They said that it looks like he's going to be fine, but he's been banged up. He played all last
Yeah.
year with an injury. Like it's you don't want to say he's injury prone, but already like looking that way, why not take a chance on Wilkins? Yeah, he had a fumble. Hines has had 4 in the preseason. Like Wilkins is gonna get that first look, I think. Like you're not gonna go with Christine Michael, right?
I
Right?
want him.
I
I
would
love him
love
so
to.
much.
I like him too. I don't want to like him, but I do.
So much wasted talent. I hate it.
Could you see him possibly starting off the season as a starter
Are you talking
if
about
Mac?
Wilkins or
No,
or
Michael.
Michael? Oh my
I
gosh.
could see him
I
starting
don't
Michael.
start
Like
it.
I could
Don't.
see a situation where that happens. If
Can't
it's
talk
not
about it.
Wilkins, I think it's
I'll
him.
fall into my trap. Like I'll put down like, like 100 fab.
Do it. Do it. You should. You should. But yeah, I think definitely in Dynasty he's worth owning. And I would throw a late round pick out on him just to see if
Yeah.
he starts. If the first couple games he doesn't, and then you dump him, pick up somebody else.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. If he comes out at the beginning of the season and proves himself starter worthy, he could be a nice little pickup. Why
Yeah,
don't
for
you
sure.
look at your list there
Uh-huh.
and get your next guy that you're
Uh,
targeting?
well, I'm just gonna go right down. I'm gonna just take a little stroll and switch out of running back country. I want
Ooh,
to talk about Trubisky's and gravy.
yes.
Um, I I am a I am almost bullish on Mitchell Trubisky this year.
Mhm.
At the end of the season last year, I saw a lot. I saw him going from throwing for 100 yards to throwing 300, and
Mhm.
that was with garbage. That was with nothing. And so I'm looking at this team right now, and you've got players
Mhm.
that like, yeah, you've got Allen, but maybe
Mhm.
maybe this is the season that Kevin White doesn't get hurt,
Mm.
and maybe he's good.
Sure.
I don't know. Like he's kind of like he's a wild card that intrigues me so much. I feel like he's almost becoming like my Cordell Patterson of like this year because I'm like I don't have any stock in him. Like I won't
Yeah.
touch him because I think I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I just have this feeling. I'm like, oh man, what if it finally
So,
clicks?
he scored a
What if it
touchdown in
finally happens?
preseason. Like,
What if it happens?
it was a good catch too.
And they have Tyler Gabriel.
Come
You
on.
know, which
Tyler
just say, I mean,
Gabriel, he's fast.
I'm just saying that like maybe they could use him in some packages. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Brent is on. He's messing with the dynasty league right now.
So he could be.
He's up. What? Oh my gosh! You've
So
got to be kidding me.
okay, so not to get distracted too much, but you didn't even mention Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller's on my late.
I didn't get there. I didn't get there. I'm sorry.
You mentioned Taylor Gabriel first before Anthony Miller. Why? Why do you not mention him?
Because Tyler Gabriel came to mind.
Yeah.
And I was going through the players that were just jumping in mind. If I stop to think, there's dead air. You know how much I hate dead air.
Yeah, your mouth does.
I'm sorry. I'm still floored about this. Like we've been podcasting for. I mean, this is going to be a long podcast because we like to talk. But he just made a change. I just right in the corner here just pops up. Brent Ocker made a change to the Pride. This is BS.
Brent's a big jerk.
Oh wow!
He should be on.
Wow,
and he's not.
He's not getting a Four Horsemen T-shirt. I'll tell you that much right now.
Let's keep
unbelievable.
Love this T-shirt, by the way, Alex. My favorite. It's
good.
My
I'm
favorite
glad.
T-shirt.
I'm glad.
But
to wrap up my thing because I just basically talked about I basically just talked about all the wide receivers.
Which it's a big part of it.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like that Chicago, they're getting a better defense. They're really working on that defense. They're getting the pieces that they need. And I feel like this is the year where I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're going to be a breathtaking team. I'm saying that an 8-8 team, absolutely, I could see that. And then maybe next year being a playoff team. I mean, I totally can see that.
I think Trubisky could end up being top 12 this year. There's a scenario that plays out where he ends up as a QB1. Like the kid's talented. He's fun to root for. I don't know if it's that swagger. I feel like he has it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like he's going to be a bust like Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield.
Oh crap! There it is.
Yeah. Why? See, this is why Brent needs to be on right now instead of messing with the pride thing, which he's I got to go to bed. Whatever.
See, Baker is behind Tyrod Taylor, which I wish Tyrod could just ascend to fancy glory. What could have been? I don't know.
I don't think you're the only one that feels this way.
When I think about it, I feel sick to my stomach. When I saw his wrist go limp, it hurt my heart. But I kind of already mentioned Anthony Miller is one of my guys. I like getting players attached to that Bears offense this year because I do think that they are going to take a step in the right direction and their defense should be better. But if it's not, and they are throwing the ball, we said Biskey he has the talent. He can do it. He can, he could put up numbers, and they have Trey Burton. They have Allen Robinson. And then I think Anthony Miller's right there as a top 3 weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked awesome in preseason, looked awesome in training camp. If you can get him super late, because I still see him undrafted in a lot of leagues. So if he's on your waiver wire, he's a guy to keep an eye on in the first couple weeks and see if he does something.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a late round pick out on him.
For sure.
One guy that I have on, I bet you over 50% of my teams is Bilal Powell. Is that bad? Is that a bad thing? Is that a good pick?
Yes,
a bad pick?
It's bad.
It's bad.
Terrible.
He's always there, like last round, second to last round.
Honestly, when I looked at your list here, I was like,
Mhm.
there are two guys that I absolutely hate, and I agree with all the rest of them.
Yeah.
That and one the
Bilal
one
Powell's
of the
one of them.
two, Bilal Powell, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Can I tell you why?
Go for it.
So Elijah McGuire is injured. If
You need to
Elijah
get closer to your microphone, though.
if Elijah McGuire Elijah McGuire right now, if Elijah McGuire's injury is, serious or it lingers and goes on through the season, Bilal Powell is going to be something. Isaiah Crowell is in front of him. We all know how you feel about Crowell,
Garbage.
right? Garbage. Somebody has to somebody has to get yards in that offense. It's not like they're going to be complete trash. Do you think they're going to roll Darnold out there? Is he going to be their
Oh
starter? Or
yeah,
is it going to be Bridgewater?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he's looked, honestly, he's looked good. He could be the best rookie this year. I'm not saying that he ends up being the best rookie of this class. That'll be remain to be seen. But um,
Mm-hmm.
I like him, and I just, again, this is the same kind of thing with, you have the same thing with Buffalo. You have the same thing with Cleveland. Are
Mm-hmm.
you really going to roll out McCown, Bridgewater? That doesn't move the needle. This is a team that has kind of become a wasteland, and you need a spark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they have to start him.
Yeah.
I
I think that's better for their offense, though.
Yeah,
I'm
and
fine with it.
I don't think I think that they're good enough in, because their line's not bad, right?
Mm-mm. Nope, not
So
terrible.
yeah, so
Not
I
outstanding,
think
but
that,
not bad.
well, but I mean, good enough that he's not going to get killed.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that everybody has. If you are in our generation, I guess, and you've been into football, you've been paying attention to things, you're always thinking David Carr,
Mm-hmm.
not Derek, David.
David, trash.
David got obliterated
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Garbage.
Years.
Just killed.
And, I mean, and the thing is that you have no idea what kind of quarterback he might have been, because who knows how many concussions he had, because that was way before the concussion thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but going back to it, I think that Darnold will not get obliterated, because that's where
Right.
my mind goes, is that, okay, how is the line? Can they start a rookie and be okay? And I
Right.
think they can.
Yeah, their line is good enough for him to be upright. So
Yeah.
if he's if he is at least mediocre, there's got to be a running back that does something out there, at least puts up some sort of numbers. Why not throw late flash? Bilal Powell has shown flashes of being able to be, I don't know if electric's the right word, but he's had a couple big splash games. I think last year
Yeah.
he went over 140 twice.
Uh-huh.
He had over 700 yards rushing. He stayed fairly healthy.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in Crowell, why not throw a late round pick out on him?
I mean, you sold me on a late round pick.
Sure.
And I
And I'm
mean,
not
like,
saying,
like
I was bullish on Crowell last year. I was saying,
but
you could take him in
okay.
the 4th or 5th round and feel like he's going to see touches, because you want opportunity. That's the main thing we want in fantasy football. Everybody's talented. We want that combination of talent and opportunity.
Okay. Powell or Wilkins?
Dynasty or redraft?
I mean, I see where you're going with that. I don't want you to think in either of those sense. I know that theoretically we should. Just as a fantasy player, who are you looking at right this second? Would you, if it comes to you, you're about to hit the draft button. You've got Powell and Wilkins in your queue. Who do you hit?
Wilkins. I think there's more upside.
I agree.
I think that Powell, like, if you are trying to round out your line, and like late in your rounds, you should be looking for that upside. But I think it's 50-50. It's a toss-up. But more than likely, I'm going to go for the younger of the running backs.
You're gonna go for the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
The unknown could be, you know, way up there, whereas what
Mm-hmm.
you know is what you know.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
Powell, he's 29. He hasn't hit that magic number yet. He doesn't have as much usage as some running backs out there,
Yeah,
other
that's true.
29-year running backs.
That's true.
I think that there's a chance that he surprises people this year. I could see him finishing, as an RB3. Even if nothing happens in that backfield, just doing what he does, I think that he could produce. If something was to happen where Crowell went down with a season-ending injury, like there's a possibility it plays out that Powell could be an RB2 in my head, and I think it's
Yeah,
worth a chance. Don't use an
it's possible.
8-round pick on him, but if
Yeah,
he's there at the very end of your draft, go ahead and do it.
yeah,
Alex, give me
for
give
sure.
me another name.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with one. You immediately made fun of me.
Hmm.
Immediately.
Yes.
I put down Bo Scarborough.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of intrigued by him until I saw him at the combine, and then I was like, oh god, this guy sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But then he
Yes.
got drafted by the Cowboys. Now, the reason I am the reason I am thinking this is I could see him being a goal line back and vulturing touchdowns. I could see it, and it makes a lot of sense. If you're on the 2 or 3 yard line, you could have this big body guy punch it in.
Sure.
And we've seen that happen time and time again to these amazing running backs that they grab some big dude and just plow it right through.
Yeah.
And I could see Rod Smith is small. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not, Scarborough is big.
Soro's huge.
And so I can see him not only that, but being able to catch passes out of the backfield. I could say, and now I'm not willing to bet on this because I haven't seen the game flow at all. I could see 7 touchdowns. I could
Yeah,
see
I
7
mean,
touchdowns.
God, I hate that. I hate everything about that. I could see him 0 touchdowns. I could see him at like a a healthy scratch. That's what I
It
see.
is totally possible. It's totally possible. I'm not like, that's why I'm not like bullish to a point that I don't realize that this is ridiculous. But I wanted to put somebody on there
Sure.
because it in my head it makes sense.
Sure.
And so
Okay.
I'm not saying, hey, draft this guy like
Don't draft
at
him.
all. Don't draft him at all. I'm saying keep an eye. If after week 1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a touchdown and you're
Yeah.
seeing him used at the line, snatch him up.
Yeah.
Play a bad a bad team because Rod Smith is not like great at any area. Scarborough
He's okay.
is crap, but he's big.
He's
So
huge.
it's possible that he could be that guy as long as he doesn't he could fumble the ball. Like, he looks garbage at everything.
Yeah,
He
do not draft Scarborough. If you're
I'm,
listening to this,
I'm saying,
do not draft him.
hey, listen, you hear what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying keep an eye on him because if they
know.
start using him for touchdowns,
See,
that might be good.
what I'm worried about is I say, give me late round targets, and you give me trash
It could.
that you're not going to draft.
Okay. Like, I mean, all right. So would I go Wilkins over Scarborough? Of course.
Yeah, duh.
But let's say maybe the draft is really deep. Maybe we're talking about a 16 team, 30 spots.
If it's maybe a 50-man roster, 16 teams, I could maybe see drafting Scarborough. That's about it. Like,
I'm just throwing something fun to talk about.
I'm in the 32 team 50-man roster dynasty, and I don't own Bo Scarborough, and I'm not sure I'd pick him up if somebody dropped him right now. I
You
own
would.
no. I'm not gonna pull my roster.
You would do it. Heartbeat.
You're probably right. I probably would.
You want Bobo? Can you imagine that? Bobo,
no,
third
I don't
touchdown
like
of the game.
And you know what? I think Dallas is going to be bad this year. If
I
their
think
offensive line, I feel terrible for Frederick, like, going through what he's going through with that, whatever that condition is. I can't remember what it's called. It's got a weird name to it. But he's probably not gonna play this season, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean,
Dolphins are
this is
fine.
kind of what like I argued with Brent maybe 2 years ago about this.
Mhm,
When you have such a good line, it fractures. Now, obviously,
mhm.
the illness or whatever has nothing to do with that, but
Right.
um, and it has. Like you've seen some of these guys go other places, and what Brent's argument was a couple years ago was, well, their backups are really good.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, if your backups are really good, they're going to leave to be starters before they even get a chance to be a starter for the Cowboys. So you've seen some of that exodus, and that's going to be their problem and kind of their downfall. Is that I think they're basing so much of they got rid of Des Bryant, which was a linchpin. So we still don't know how that wide receiving core is going to shake out. So I don't know. Cowboys could be a terrible team. I could see them being a mediocre team. I I hate them so much that if they were good, oh god.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing them being good, but it's draft Elliott. Other than that, like throwing late round picks on Allen Hurns, Michael Gallup is I know we'll talk about Michael Gallup probably. I know you love him. Let me throw a guy out there because
Do it.
I paid way too much money in our auction league for Austin Hooper, and it's
How much did you pay?
$13.
Ooh.
Yeah, in our league that's a lot, mind you. I'll throw that out there
Oh,
because
for a tight end.
we're
For a tight
12
end.
we're 12 keepers, 8 teams, so there's not really a ton left. It's a tight end premium league though, so you get the point and a half per reception.
Yeah.
I have Gronk, and
Can can I offer a
yeah,
thing about that?
yeah, go,
I love it. Keep
yeah,
him. I
yeah.
think that he could be
I love him.
basically he is like we throw around, and we've discussed what talented means.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say, okay, everybody's talented,
Hmm.
so that's the base, he is talented. Like
Yes.
if everybody's talented, then okay, then nobody's talented. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he is talented. I think that
Yep.
he has the possibility of being a top 5 tight end, and I
So
don't think that that's a bad amount to spend on a
right.
top tight end
Yep.
because it's such a problem to get those guys.
Sure.
It's
I
such
agree
a problem.
completely. And I think that's why I put him in this list is he is a guy that a lot of people still aren't really thinking about. Like
No.
Atlanta, they took kind of a step back last year, but they're going to be having the second year of their offense being run. Matt Ryan still is a very competent quarterback. Um, Austin Hooper could, like you just said, it's so murky after those top 3 tight ends. Like, would you be super surprised if he finishes a top 5? I wouldn't.
No, not at all. And the thing is that offense has been, you look at full strength.
Mhm,
You've got Julio, you got I was gonna say Ridley, right?
mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry. All
it's
of a
okay.
sudden I was like, wait, is it Ridley or DJ Moore? I kept switching them for some weird reason. Anyway, so Ridley.
Mhm,
Then you've got, Tevin Coleman that can catch out of the backfield, Freeman that can catch out of the backfield. You throw in a competent tight end. I mean, there's going to be mismatches
mhm.
somewhere on the field. And
Yep,
and I think that you are looking at a tight end, you're hoping that you get 5+ touchdowns.
yep,
I think that's a fair amount. You want 5 or more touchdowns, and you want like 700 plus yards.
yep.
I think he can go way above that.
Yeah, so do I. Like, 900 yards and 8 touchdowns would not be out of the realm of possibilities for me. I think that he's a great, great late round tight end to look at. Uh, th- Another guy that I have like right there with him is Austin Safarian Jenkins, and I'm just gonna go ahead and knock him out too because I kind of group him into the same group with Marquise Lee going down. Somebody's gonna catch touchdown passes. I think that Safarian Jenkins is more of a 600 yard 9 touchdown guy. Like, it would not surprise me if he finished up in the top 12 of tight ends either. But who would you rather have between those two, Hooper or Jenkins?
Absolutely, Hooper.
100%.
100%. And I'll tell you, Austin Jenkins has been that guy that people have been talking about year after year after year. He's now he's gonna make that jump. He's gonna make that jump. Eventually, we've got to stop thinking he's gonna make that jump. And I don't think that he is. I think that he is going to be one of those guys that gets overdrafted and disappoints.
Really?
Considerably. Yes.
He's a tight end 19 right now.
Okay. Like, I just.
Did you watch him play at all last year for the Jets? Like, did you see any highlights? Like, he had highlight plays last year. He's talented. He's done some dumb stuff, but he's talented, man.
Okay.
I'm telling you, he's talented. And did you see what?
Do you want to do a line on that?
Well, yeah, we probably can. We'll work something out. Who was the guy last year though for Jacksonville? You know who I'm talking about.
Was it Julius?
Julius Thomas was Miami, right?
Oh yeah, gosh. Well, I mean, I know that Mercedes Lewis did some work.
Mercedes Lewis is who I'm thinking of. Like, Mercedes Lewis caught touchdown passes. Like, Austin Seferian-Jenkins is super athletic. If they put him in like a move tight end, like Blake Bortles is Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is going to Blake Bortles out there. He's going to throw the ball still. Like, he doesn't care if he looks like an idiot. Like, he's going to throw it. And Seferian-Jenkins can make plays. He can make things happen. I don't know. I would probably rather have him, but it's a toss-up for me.
I'm not saying that you're completely wrong that he could be valuable, but when you put him up against Austin Hooper, I don't see a comparison.
Sure.
As far as what I think that the ceiling on Hooper is way higher.
Yeah.
And I think the floor is way higher. Like, I think the whole, like, you have to completely shift the entire, like, thing for Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and there's only a little bit of where they would overlap.
Okay, because I would probably say that I thought Seferian-Jenkins had a higher floor, but lower ceiling.
I don't know. I don't know.
I love them both, and I have more Hooper than I have Jenkins. I have a lot of Hooper though, so I'm really hoping it pans out.
Yeah. Here's kind of a weird one. You look at Miami, and they're missing a key ingredient with Landry going down.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Danny Amendola filling that spot.
Yeah.
And catching 60, 70. I'm not saying he's going to do 100. I'm not saying he's going to like completely eradicate the thought of Landry being there. I'm saying that he is an obvious placeholder. He's an obvious plug and play into that position, that idea of what they had. So he would be worth taking a look at if you're not thrilled with the wide receivers you have, or you're just going with high upside wide receivers toward the end of your draft. I think he could be one of those guys.
Does it have anything to do with Devontae Parker, like injuring his finger, not being ready for
Devontae Parker has hurt me too many times.
Too many.
And Kenny Stills is going to continue catching 50 to 70-yard touchdowns. I'm done with Devontae Parker. Done.
I think like this year more than any, I had bought into Devontae Parker breakout year. And
oh my God.
And you know what? I'll throw this out there. I like him still. And I like him.
I do too, but I'm done.
If he's falling in drafts, I'm okay with you taking him too, though.
Where's he falling? Where's he falling where you would want to take?
So I would take him in the 12th round.
Okay. I don't hate that.
mean? I don't even know where his AD. I'll look his ADP up right now.
Yeah,
but
real quick, I'm just gonna say we need okay, where are we at here? Yeah, let's just push this to a 2-hour podcast and like really give a middle finger to Brent and Josh. Like, look what we can do.
We're
The
not.
two of us. We can
We
just do this.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we're approaching an hour, but
I assume that we're over an hour, aren't
we're not.
we?
We're not.
No, no, we're not.
We're
Okay.
close though. We're about
Okay.
7 minutes away. So
Well, we have
honestly,
30 more players to talk, so settle in, everybody.
I still like Devontae Parker. I wish that he wouldn't have broke his finger because
I
I
wish
think
that he wouldn't be on Miami.
is that
Because
more
here's
Tannehill
the
or
problem. It doesn't matter. Kenny Stills is what Devontae Parker should be, and
sure?
Kenny Stills is still there. So
Yeah.
it's a problem. Like flat out, Kenny Stills is the guy to have, not Devontae Parker.
Mm.
Like if I don't know where their ADPs are at, but if I'm taking a look, I'm going to hold off on Parker and draft Stills because Stills is going to get more work than Parker. It's just a fact, and it's frustrating. It's a frustrating fact.
So according to Fantasy Pros, Devontae Parker's wide receiver 45, Kenny Stills is wide receiver 47. So
Okay,
it's a toss up.
it's a toss up, but if you look at the game logs,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to harp on that till the day I die. You look at the game logs, you are not drafting Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, I would not be super surprised if this was the year where he became like
God,
I know,
you're
I
gonna get
know, I
burned,
know,
baby.
I know.
You're gonna
You're
get
probably right.
burned.
I don't hate the Danny Amendola thing though. Going back to what you were saying, I
Yeah.
think that there's a possibility. I worry about his health. Like I worry about
Yeah.
him staying
Yeah.
healthy. He's
But I
dealt with
mean,
some health
you don't
issues.
really
So
you're not really worried about somebody's health where you're taking these guys.
sure,
Like
give it a
like I
shot.
mean, like okay, you
If
gave it a shot. All right,
if he
we'll
gets
pass on.
injured, dump him and be done
Yeah.
with it. Like if it's like
Dump
even if
him,
it's
pick up
little,
Bo Scarborough.
don't pick up Bo Scarborough. Whatever,
Oh
whatever.
God, like I
Do not.
I just I want him to be good just because it would piss everybody off.
Oh,
Because I'm the only one that has ever sang his praise.
you are. What were we gonna make a bet on? Was it Safari Jenkins?
Yes.
What were we
Yes.
thinking?
Well, we need numbers. I feel like maybe like 2 out of 3. Like we've done that before where like I know that
Touches,
like
yards, touchdowns.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, can I lay the stat line out and see if you buy it?
Lay it out. Let me see.
55, 600, 7.
He's not going to hit 7, but I think he could possibly okay, you said 65,
55.
55. Bump it to 60. Give me 650. So
And keep 7 for the touchdowns?
yeah, keep 7 for the touchdowns.
You said that there's no way he hits 7 touchdowns.
To me, I don't feel like he could hit 7 touchdowns.
So give me 60, 650, and 6.
Fine. I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah.
2 out of 3 he's got to hit. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that. Let's see. Let me give you a name off here. Somebody that I really like who's actually he's picking up some steam probably heading into this weekend, so he may be going a little bit earlier in drafts, but I've been drafting the crap out of Kenny Galladay. I know that you're buying in on Kenny Galladay as well.
I'm absolutely buying in on Kelly Galladay. I just hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, Golden Tate's already been losing some two wide receiver sets to Galladay.
I mean, when you look at their wide receivers right now, I'm not impressed by Marvin Jones. I'm not really impressed by Golden Tate. Like they have their games, but then they kind of like it's like they just fade away for a while, then they come back, and they really need a linchpin. Like they're missing Calvin Johnson so bad,
yes.
And it's just they need somebody, and I think now Galladay is not going to replace Calvin Johnson, but Galladay could be that guy that has 1,200 yards. Like I mean, somebody like Matt Stafford is a capable quarterback that can put up those kind of numbers. So he needs a wide receiver that can accept those kind of numbers, and I think Galladay is a possibility.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, I love Galladay. If anything was to happen to Tate or Jones where they were gonna miss time, like you
Oh
said,
man,
he's not Calvin Johnson, but like people were calling him Minitron last year.
yeah,
It was happening. It's a
yeah, it
thing.
was,
Like, he's talented.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm totally on board with you.
I love it. By the way, just FYI, side note, I was looking at Austin Seferian-Jenkins' career totals, and this is why I shouldn't make bets without looking at this kind of stuff. His most receptions he's ever had is 50. Most yards he's ever had is 357. Most touchdowns, most touchdowns he's ever had is 4. So
That yardage is terrible.
yeah.
God.
So
Wait, you're telling me that he had 50 catches and only hauled in like 300 and some yards?
yeah, last year.
My God, that's terrible.
Yeah, last year was probably his best year overall. Oh, that's bad. He's been dealing with this stuff though, so maybe because he's definitely talented. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I look at this stuff like blindly, just talent, and like not really looking at the game logs. And 60, 650, and 6 is a lot. And I don't like it that the first is 666. I don't like that, first of all. So
I didn't see about
it
that
makes me
either.
feel super uncomfortable. But
Well, hey, you changed it to be 666. So, I
well,
mean,
yeah, I wanted one less touchdown because I think he can hit 7. But I could see it. I could still see him getting the 60 and the 6 touchdowns. The 650 yards, I think, is going to be the trouble. I, mm, and-
I can't believe that average per
yeah,
catch. That's god awful.
that's bad. It's been
Like
real
that
bad.
means he would have had he could have had 100 catches and 700 yards.
Yeah, that's
That's
not
like
good.
unheard of.
That's really bad.
That is rough.
I hope Jacksonville uses him better than that. Why
Ugh.
don't you give me another name though?
Okay, well, we talked about Marquise Lee and that the insanity that is ensuing in that wide receiving core. I
Mm-hmm.
love DJ Chark. I'm gonna call him Shark. I'm
Sure.
always gonna call him Shark. It doesn't feel good to say Chark.
Nope.
It only feels good to say Shark. He should change
Absolutely.
his name. It's hard to say
Mhm.
DJ Chark. You have to stop. It feels
Shark.
uncomfortable.
He's Shark. I
Chark.
like it. Shark.
Yeah. I mean, we lost Sharknado or
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Sharknado.
Sharknado quit. Yeah. And so, we need another shark. But basically, okay, it's part of the unknown, but also I don't feel great about, Dante Moncrief. I'm not a D.D. Westbrook fan. Sorry, Roman.
I know you're
We
not.
made a bet with Shark and James Washington. Now,
Mm-hmm.
James Washington, unless that there's an injury. Now, granted, this is how, this situation is come to pass. But if it stays the same in Pittsburgh, he's a number 4, right? And DJ Chark could be a number 2, maybe even a number 1.
Oh my God. Do not be me. You're putting way too much into him.
No,
right
I'm
now.
not, because D.D.
You
Westbrook
are.
is garbage. Okay, you're telling me. You are
D.D.
telling me.
Westbrook isn't garbage.
Okay,
First of all,
you are telling me. Listen, you are telling me that Dante Moncrief and D.D. Westbrook are 100% better than DJ Chark. That's what you're telling me right now, because he's number 3.
they're going to be in front of him for sure. Are they better? I don't know yet. I can't say that for sure.
Have you ever seen Dante Moncrief play? I believe you have.
Yeah, I have. I've seen him catch touchdowns.
Yeah, he will be 1 for 6 for a touchdown. That's about as good as he gets.
So they put him in to take Marquise Lee's spot after he got injured in that preseason game. I'm gonna look up his game log right now because I feel like he did decent. I don't feel like it was bad. But
are you talking about Moncrief?
Yeah, because I don't know if it really changes Westbrook or Keelan Cole, which
Keelan Cole. I forgot about Keelan Cole.
all 3 of them are still in front of Shark. So
Okay. I mean, I have this weird feeling about like it's funny that I forget about him, but I have this feeling about Keelan Cole that he might be decent. I
huh.
don't know.
So you forget about him, but you think he might be decent.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of players. Okay, Jacksonville's a garbage fire right now. Like we don't know what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
hard to
rough.
remember. It's hard to remember a ton of wide receivers on a team that barely gets any passing yards because their quarterback is garbage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you
He
finding these game logs? Jesus.
so he went three catches for 62 yards. Moncrief. Eh, it's preseason. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really know. That's the thing. Is that,
Yeah.
but I know that they paid him $10 million, and I think that they'll give him a shot before Shark. Now they drafted Shark in what, the second round? He was
Maybe.
early, right? Fourth round,
I
third
think.
round. I don't remember.
Maybe.
He
I
was
don't know.
earlier than I thought, and I think he was second round. But I still like my bet of DJ Washington over him. I would make that bet right now, even after this
Jaguars
injury.
DJ Chark opportunity knocks. See, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Yeah, second round, he's 6'4". Oh my
He's
gosh, that's so sexy.
Yeah,
Six
I mean,
four.
his
Oh,
silhouette probably looks awesome,
oh,
but
you know what? His silhouette catching a ball in the end zone, that's gonna be even sexier.
yeah, I don't
Dante
know.
Moncrief is a joke.
Dante Moncrief is not good.
No.
He's not.
So basically he is sitting behind. There's a cat behind me right now, but it's not a jaguar, by the way. It looks like it, but it's more of a bobcat.
It is.
Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, he really is knocking at the door. Like if
sure.
you really look at it, like I think Moncrief's going to fall off quick, and then so Didi didn't really impress in his like. I mean, obviously, it's his rookie year, and he had issues, but I mean, Keelan Cole is probably going to be on a short leash because yeah, he had a few good games, but can he handle that workload? Who knows? So
Yeah, I'm not completely opposed to you going after him, but he's not my first choice. Even out of your group of names that you got left, like I would take either of the other two wide receivers over top of him. So why don't you give me one of them?
a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. One of your wide receivers on there. You got two left.
Oh, okay.
Because I like them
I
both.
don't really want. I mean, I think Aguilar. I think everybody's kind of targeting him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Especially
I
with the
think
Jeffrey news,
yeah, exactly.
which I didn't even
Um,
talk about that.
yeah. Well, Jeffrey's going to be out for a couple of games. I think everybody knew about like
Yeah.
that was going to happen. And I mean, honestly, if you have followed his career, you're not shocked.
Nope.
So I'm going to talk about Michael Gallup,
Yes.
and this is kind of like I'm a big fan of DJ Shark. I'm a bigger fan of Michael Gallup because of his opportunity. There's nothing there. I mean, I don't think that uh, Alan, no,
Hearns. Yes.
Yeah, Alan Hearns. Yeah, sorry. All of a sudden, I got confused because they're like, wait, Alan Robinson. Sorry. Yes. I have a real hard time like
Yes.
in podcast remembering names is
You're not good with
atrocious.
names at all. It's
It
okay
is
though.
atrocious.
I'm here for you.
So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't think Alan Hearns is somebody that you should worry about leapfrogging. I think that I was a big Hearns believer. This is one case where Romine actually was correct.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you were incorrect about his season previous to your statement.
Mm-hmm.
However, them paying him was a misstep. So I don't think that you're going to have to worry about him. And they're just like Cole Beasley is just a role player.
Yep.
So you're looking at Michael Gallup as can he fill the shoes of Des Bryant? Right away, obviously, no. But I think that it's possible that he could be the number one, number two guy that could develop very well. And I don't think a lot of people are really talking about him, which I think is weird because he has the most clear-cut opportunity right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. I actually really like that pick. I know we made a bet of Ridley versus Gallup straight up. I took the Ridley side. Not my favorite bet that I've made. I like Gallup a lot. I think that Gallup, it wouldn't surprise me if he was the leading rookie wide receiver this year. Not in
Yeah,
the slightest. It would not. It's He's gonna have opportunity, and he's looked good. He's talented. He's got every chance to be the leading wide receiver coming out of Dallas this year. That would
for
not
sure.
surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
A guy that I have, uh, Mike Williams, second year. He didn't really play last year. He got activated late in the season. There's got to be a reason they're not bringing in another tight end to replace Hunter Henry, right? Like I could see Mike Williams catching these touchdowns. He's a big red zone target if he could stay healthy. Like
That's a big if. I
yeah,
think that's what
no,
I'm
it's a
worried
big
about.
if. Yeah, and like obviously that's a good worry, but it's not like his ADP's gotten pushed back up. He's a first round wide receiver. He was what, a top 15 pick last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's that's a lot of what's that's a lot of draft capital. You know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
invest that heavy of a pick in him.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I definitely like him. I'm I just don't know if there is enough to go around in
Really, from
San
Philip
Diego.
Rivers?
I don't know. I
It's not
mean,
San Diego
okay,
anymore.
maybe not saying not enough. I guess I'm just wondering about, are we only drafting him for touchdowns or is he going to get yards? And I think that's the question that you have to ask yourself is, what are you drafting him for? Like you said, okay, hold on, let me look. Wide receiver 50. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's so that ends up being like a wide receiver 4, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
late.
Yeah. So I mean, like I I like that, especially, I mean, depending on how your league is. I think that, you know, he's a good upside for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And I'm not saying that drafting him is a bad idea. Like I guess it would just depend on where the value is at. You don't want to overdraft a guy like this because you don't really know what he could do.
Right.
Um
You
I
want him to
feel like
be
he's
you want
higher.
him to be your wide receiver like 5 or 6, ideally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like honestly though, let me just real quick go through here. Um because Mike Williams is above Kenny Galladay. I want Kenny Galladay.
Mm-hmm.
Um Mike Williams is above Anthony Miller. I kind of lean Anthony Miller on that. Um
Hmm.
just trying to see here another Gallup. I'm going to take Gallup. Um I would take Mike Williams over Chark. So I mean, like, and John Ross, I would take Williams over John Ross. We didn't talk about him, but
Well, John Ross was another player on my list who's
yeah,
impressing in preseason. Who's
there.
another, like he's very similar, I think, like in that in that mold of being an early round pick, not necessarily like player
Well,
build,
from last year,
but yeah, they're
like,
both were rookies last year who were dealing with injuries. Who this year they have a big opportunity. John Ross
okay,
could easily be the wide receiver 2 in Cincinnati,
yeah, for sure,
and I think Mike Williams could be the number 2 in Los
yeah,
Angeles.
absolutely. Now, you said after that, I want to talk about the other one I don't like, and that
Oh,
is
Mariota.
Mariota. I'm sorry, there's nothing. I'm off the Mariota train so hard.
I'm not. I'm back
I
on.
last year he looked no.
And maybe it's because
It's
you know,
just
even with me being like a Colts fan and watching AFC South games, I didn't watch a ton of him play. I felt like their offense seemed off last year. Like
yeah, oh yeah, definitely off. I mean, it was
so, what I'm
awful.
thinking is if they can take a step forward, like you saw what he did his rookie year. He's
Part of his rookie
athletic.
year,
He's talented. If he can stay
injury
healthy,
prone.
and if they, yeah, well, we're talking another running quarterback.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, you're drafting him as your backup though,
Yes,
right? Okay.
100%. He's
Okay.
quarterback 17.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm like. I mean, okay. there are different ways of drafting.
Yes.
Obviously we talked
I'm
about that. So you're not waiting to pick him up as your starter.
right. I'm a
You've
big
already got like an Andrew Luck or
yeah,
something that you think
exactly. I'm a big fan of waiting until the mid to late rounds and then
oh yeah.
drafting two of those guys.
Oh
And then
yeah,
you can
absolutely.
kind of hope one hits. I think
Yep.
Marcus Mariota is a very good second quarterback to draft and see if it hits. Because if it does hit, it could be magic. Like
Yeah.
if he rushes for 500 to 600 yards, which is a possibility, like he could be an every week starter.
Okay, so Mariota or Tyrod Taylor.
Mariota. Do you know how many Tyrod Taylor shares I own?
I
One
don't know.
on my taxi squad.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
As much as I believe in him, like I hate the situation. If Baker Mayfield would have not gone there, I would have felt better about it. But even watching him get injured in that preseason game, it's like, oh, hey, snap back to reality. He is
Yeah.
injury prone. Like he
Yeah.
gets hit, he scrambles, and he takes hits because he's a
Yeah.
G. I love
Yeah.
him. He is always trying to get that extra yard. He is a baller, dude. I don't see
He's
how you could
so
not like him.
boring.
He's
He,
not boring.
my okay, like my favorite quarterbacks are Randall Cunningham and Donovan McNabb. I loved Michael Vick. I love scrambling quarterbacks. He is not fun to watch. He's
Okay.
not.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He is a
That doesn't make
game
him not
managing
fun to watch.
quarterback. You're
Okay,
right.
game
And that's what I'm
managers aren't
saying.
fun to
Like,
watch.
he's not fun to watch. You're right. But he is athletic and he's sneaky fast and he's a good runner. Like, when he gets the ball, he can make things happen. Is he he's not Michael Vick. You're right. I don't even think he's Marcus Mariota. I think Marcus Mariota is a more talented runner than Tyrod Taylor is. And that's
Yeah.
why I put Mariota on my list and not Tyrod Taylor, because I think that Mariota is maybe the best rushing quarterback in the NFL. Like, as
Cam.
far as like, I think he might be is pure rushing. Like, I think Cam is better inside the 5. Like
Okay.
Cam is awesome at getting the ball in the end zone. I think when you get Mariota in open field, like he can like juke players out and make people miss. Cam is okay, you're right. Cam's the best rushing quarterback in the NFL. Just pure rushing, like he's awesome and he's a
Yeah.
freight train and he can score. And like the good thing about Cam is like he throws his body out there. Like he doesn't care. He wants to get the ball
Yeah.
in the end zone. He's fun to watch, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for sure.
I could see Mariota if he stays healthy and plays all 16 games, running his way into a top 12 quarterback season.
It's possible.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know you hated
Yeah,
it.
I'm not completely shooting it down. I just last year just left the worst taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I know
So bad.
you're anti Tennessee,
Because I
but
was so into him. Oh, so into him.
yeah, I'm
It
still
burned
into
me.
him.
I'm still having a hard time like loving the Bucks again.
Yeah, no,
Like
the Bucks I'm kind of off on, man. But I love Corey Davis this year. I love Derrick Henry now that he's fallen to like the 4th, 5th round. I know. Don't. I'm
I'm just
scared
saying goodbye to their careers.
I'm worried. You're right, but I love him.
Romine showed love. Hashtag. Seriously, to our listeners, please, all I'm asking for is one of you to tweet at number 4 horsemen MEN pod hashtag Romine showed love. That's
Nobody's
all
gonna
I
do that.
want. I would be so excited. I would lose it if somebody did that.
You're the only one that buys into it, though.
Oh no, I'm not the only one that buys into it. Everybody loves it.
All right, Alex, end the show. Give me one last name.
End the show.
End the show. This is the last one.
Look out for Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that name. Is it because you don't believe in Delaney Walker?
It's because Delaney Walker cannot stay healthy. He is getting banged up, and I think his age is starting to catch up to him. And it's kind of like just waiting for Smith to get his shot right now. It
Yeah.
might not be this year. Heck, it might not even be next year. But I feel like he is the Hunter Henry,
Yeah.
like behind, like just waiting. Like it's like, okay, they've got this next guy, and he might even be better than the guy that they have in there now, but
Yep.
they're going to run the guy they have now into the ground. And then here comes the next guy. And I think that Jonnu Smith is that guy that you need to watch. If you have the ability to stash him, I would stash him, especially if you have taxi squads, which I know that that's not super common. But
It
if you
should
don't
be.
have them, it should be. It should be a part of your league. So yeah, I love him. I love him for the future.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that he's going to score 10 touchdowns this year, but I definitely love him for the next upcoming seasons.
Yeah, and, like, Jonnu Smith is, like, that move tight end that you put him in there, and he's a great receiver.
Yep.
He's very, very talented, and he's going as I think the tight end 43 on Fantasy Pros,
Yep.
so he's definitely not getting drafted, and I think you're right, like, I don't think you should draft him unless something was to happen to Delaney Walker where his season is ended,
But
but
Delaney Walker almost definitely will miss 1 or 2 games.
Mhm.
So that's one reason to keep an eye out, because if and this is a dynasty thing, if Smith comes in and blows the doors off, Delaney Walker's gone next year then.
Mhm.
Flat out.
Should
If
be.
they can see what he has, they're going to get rid of Walker because they have this shiny new thing over here.
Yep, and
So,
they should. Like, and I'm not gonna argue that one bit. Your Bo Scarborough, I laughed at. I mocked that terrible. Like, Johnny Smith, though, if you can throw him in a taxi squad, like, he could be the player that nobody is talking about that is tight end relevant next year,
I
easily.
I just want to put out there that I did not even draft Bo. Somebody did draft Bo Scarborough in our league, wasn't it?
Did they
Was it
really?
Joe?
Oh, I don't know. That's terrible. I wouldn't have picked
Somebody
him.
did, but okay. I want it to be known and understood. I did not select Scarborough. I have zero stock in Scarborough. I just thought it'd be fun
Listen,
to talk about, and I
everybody
really
knows
do think that he has the possibility of getting touchdowns.
you can't say all that in one sentence. Everybody knows you love Bo Scarborough. He's
Okay.
like your running back 25. You think that he's gonna take Ezekiel Elliott's job. It's essentially what I heard you say. So it's essentially what you just said. So on that note, I'm
Yep.
gonna go ahead and
Okay.
end the podcast. Maybe next week we'll have Van Cleve or Brent. I don't
Brent
know.
is still up. He's texting us right now. This is the lamest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
You know what? Good riddance. But you know what? I don't even
Twin
want to.
Peaks, baby. Twin Peaks for life.
Twin Peaks. But we appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully, this information gets to you before your drafts. We will talk to you next week for sure. The season is coming. There will be a show. We're going to be featuring week 1. Like, that's what our show is going to be about next week.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, I know.
Woo.
It's a big deal. So, we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.